I don't know if I can perform live anymore without having a panic attack. It was that bad. Like, every single night I had a panic attack. I was twitching. It was horrible. People who I knew would be watching the gigs and they would come back after and be like, we didn't enjoy watching that gig. Like, that was really fucking hard for us to see you in that position.
Did you ever, in those moments, question what you were doing?
Yeah, for sure. But I questioned what I was doing a lot in lockdown as well. Like, honestly, that it kind of started that it's like, fuck, if this is making me feel this bad. And it was fucking so heartbreaking as well because, sorry, I keep hitting this mic, but I was so heartbroken about it because playing live is the best bit about music. Like, I fucking hate recording albums. It's stressful. It's a pain in the ass. Promo, I get into a point where I quite like it and it's kind of like fun, but it's not like why I get into it. I fucking despise doing music videos. I hate doing photo shoots, hate getting my photo taken. I only do all that stuff. The only reason I started writing songs was because I thought, okay, if I, like people who I was watching, like bands like Green Day or fucking Arctic Monkeys, I was like, oh, they write their own songs. So if I want to play live, I have to write my own songs. So like the only reason I do any of this other shit or put up with any of this other shit is because playing live is this fucking unparalleled thing that you can't compare it to anything else.
Takes you back to being 4 at that karaoke gig, right?
Totally, 100%, and it's that same buzz every single fucking time. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, unless you have a fucking shit gig, then it's terrible. But and then you're depressed for like 3 weeks. But yeah, that buzz is just unbelievable. So like when that was making me feel shit, I was a bit like, oh, well, this is fucking horrific. And it was like, I don't know how, if this is making me feel this bad, why continue to do it? And then at times making new music and stuff, I was like, when I would get really down on myself, I'd be like, fuck, is this actually worth it? And the rest of it. I never actually got to a point where I was like, oh, I'm going to quit. Or like, I don't think it was ever something that was serious in my mind because I've literally never done anything else. And I would be fucking useless at anything else. I'm a lazy cunt. Like, serious. And I know that sounds like I'm being self-deprecating. I am just aware of that as a genuine flaw that I'm trying to take the steps to correct. Honestly, it is so fucking, I'm so bad for just like, just sitting on TikTok and fucking scrolling through it and that. And I think as well, getting to the position I got in with the first album, I was like, fuck, now I can like really fucking be lazy. Like, now I can turn this shit fucking right up. It was wild. So like, at points I was just like, fuck, did I just do this and that? But I think for the most part, I was never seriously considering like stopping, like completely. But it was definitely something that, and my mum and dad had raised it to me and my family and friends. It's like, if this is making you feel that bad, especially when my Tourette's thing was really bad and we never knew what it was. My dad gave me a lift home from the airport one night after I'd been in London for a week, and I was twitching like fuck, to the point where he started crying in the car because he was like, this is like, again, we never knew it was Tourette's at this point. He was like, this is fucking like, so like mad. He thought I was having like a seizure next time in the car and the rest of it. It was mad. So like, they were obviously concerned and they're like, why, like, just stop, don't do this if it's making you feel this shit. You never had any of this anxiety or anything before this all took off. But then again, when I went to therapy, I was like, oh, I actually did. But this kind of just tipped it over the edge, maybe where it became like panic attacks and stuff like that. The live thing was really a big thing. We went and played the Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi in December of last year. Just like a set, and I was really worried about that. And then we went on stage, and I never had any of those issues. Like, I didn't twitch, I didn't have a panic attack, whatever. And I came off, and I was in the toilet, and I was like, I could have fucking burst into tears just because I was like, oh, thank fuck, I can actually do this still, and not be fucking twitching, and not be fucking terrified, and not all this shit. Do you know what I mean? So that was like a big thing. But yeah, over lockdown and stuff, I definitely thought. Initially, when it happened, it was such a relief because I was like, oh, thank fuck, I don't have to go away and do this tour with Niall and then go and do festivals. Because it was like, it kind of gave me a moment to kind of address it. And I know now, saying that, obviously knowing what COVID did and all the stuff that happened and people lost jobs and all the rest of it, that feels like a selfish thing to say, but at the same time, it's like I don't know how much longer I could have kept up having a panic attack every single fucking night on stage, and just like, because it was like fucking, it was suffering for sure. And yeah, it just wasn't fun. But again, it was like, I would come off stage and I'd be absolutely, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm not having this panic attack. It got to a point where I was having panic attacks because I was anticipating having a panic attack. So
Man.
do you know what I mean? So when you get into that cycle, I think you're in real trouble because it's like, if you go looking for something, you're going to fucking find it. Do you know what I mean?
You talk about how therapy helped. That's really inspiring to hear because a lot of the time, honestly, when I sit here with people who are in that phase of their life or have been through that, they didn't seek out help until much, much later in life, until, you know, much, much later after their career.
Yeah.
What value, and it's also, I have to say, it's so important and nice to hear your honesty about that, because I think therapy is something that we should probably all consider if we have the means to do it, because it's sometimes not like whack-a-mole of seeing a symptom, but a preventative measure as well.
100%. You can't wait until things are at their worst to do something about it. It has to be something that you continue to work at. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, I think people wait until it's like fucking like the worst, rock bottom. If you take the steps prior to rock bottom, you might not have to reach that. Do you know what I mean?
How has it helped you? And what has it taught you? Because, you know,
I've had a few. I've tried a few different therapists, and that's the thing as well now. It's like you kind of go to like different people and you kind of work out. I think a lot of people might go to a therapist and go, "Oh, that doesn't work for me," but you have to kind of find the
like
person.
dating.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to find the person who's right for you. And I'm still like, I've just started with a new one. Like, I'm still like trying to find the right person. But like, I think it's just, for me, it was all about like understand, like the first one I did was like CBT.
Yeah.
Therapy for my anxiety. And I was like, it was just about understanding what anxiety is and why I'm having these and what, like looking out for triggers and things like that. It was very much about, because at the start when you're just having panic attacks, you're like, oh, what the fuck is going on? This is mental. Like, why am I feeling this? And then every sort of feeling you get when you have a panic attack spurs it on even more, and it becomes this big fucking massive thing. And I think when I went to CBT therapy and she was like, have you felt like this? Have you felt like this? Have you felt like this? Have you felt like... And I was like, oh yeah, all that shit. And she's like, oh, that's anxiety. And then I remember I used to, this passing out and seizure thing became a big thing as well when I was having panic attacks. And she was like, right, well, what happens if you have a seizure? And I goes, I don't know, I'll probably go to hospital. And she goes, all right, so you're in hospital. What's the best place for you to be if you've had a seizure? And I was like, oh, probably hospital. She was like, right, cool. So what happens if you pass out? I goes, I'll probably wake up and I don't know, I'll probably go to hospital. And she's like, all right, what's the best place for you to be? So it's like, that's like fucking thing. I was just like really talking it out. And then I never knew what catastrophizing was, where it was like that sort of like snowball effect of
downward spiral.
This thing happens, then this thing happens. So that was a big thing. And yeah, so just that. And then the second therapist went, it was the person who mentioned the thing about my mum's mum and being exposed to like death that young, and being around death that young, and kind of just that being a thing with my hypochondria and all the rest of it. And I just think it's so funny, like when they make you like speak out, like think like, so like me saying, her saying, so what happens if you have a seizure? And I go, oh, I'll go to hospital. And she goes, well, where would the best place be? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like
so simple.
It's like so simple, but actually them making you say it, you go, oh, it makes so much fucking sense. And yeah, so it's been a big help. And again, it's like not something that I feel like again, it's not something I ever saw myself doing, go to therapy and all the rest of it. But it definitely fucking makes me feel great. Like afterwards, you just feel like a fucking weight's been lifted off your shoulders. And I definitely, I like you say, I would, if you have the means to do it, it's something that I would recommend massively. I think it has helped me. Like it continues to help me. It's that thing of like, it's like anything. It's like you go to the gym to stay, well, I don't, but you go to the gym to stay fit. Like for me, like going to therapy is like, can I go to the gym to kind of like help my mind just fucking work through things and
having the awareness to know that you are living an extraordinarily unhuman life. And I say unhuman because we're not meant to have feedback at that scale. We're not meant to go into arenas. I mean, if we're probably from our hard wiring, we're probably meant to be in groups of 10 of people we know and love, you know, small communities, not going to arenas with tens of thousands of people.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think that's the thing as well, is like understanding that this experience that you've been through is as a not a, the word traumatic is a fucking big word, but it is. It's
It
a
is
fucking
traumatic.
It's a massive
Yeah.
switch. Like I was fucking playing pubs at weekends to earn money, and fucking I was at college doing music and the only reason I did it was because I was lying on my bed one day and my dad says, "What are you doing after the summer?" And I goes, "Oh, I don't know yet. I was just going to play gigs." And he was like, "Oh, you fucking work out something." So I phoned my friend Adam and was like, "What course are you doing?" "Oh, I'm doing this music course." Went and done that. So I was just fucking like pottering around, and then this shit just kicked off. Do you know what I mean?
Was your hope for life then? If we go back, because we did skip past that part. What was your, if I had asked you at 16 years old what you want to be when you're older, what would the answer have been?
I've always just wanted to make enough money doing music so that I didn't have to get a real job. Like anything. Like if I made like, I don't know, fucking £500 a month, I would have been fucking buzzing. Like I would have been so happy with that. The first day I met my manager, he said to me, what would be your fucking like ideal fucking situation? And there was this artist called Lewis Watson at the time who at the time was playing like King Tut's size venues in Glasgow, so that's like 350 people. And I was a huge fan of his, and I was like, oh, what I get like Lewis Watson would be like my goal. Like that's like that kind of playing King Tut's size venues up and down the UK would be my absolute goal. And my manager was like, I think you could be doing arenas. This is the first day I met him. I think you could be doing arenas. And I was like, shut the fuck up, like tongue pish, whatever. And then fucking cut to 3 years later playing arenas. It's like, it's just madness. So it's like, yeah, I just wanted to be making enough money playing music that it wasn't, that I didn't have to get for want of a better word, real job. Because this is like, and this is the thing as well with music as well. This is a fucking one of the easiest jobs in the world. This is a really easy job. The actual job part of it. It's the famous side of things that's like, that causes the anxiety and stuff like that. The actual job's a fucking breeze. One of my friends, one of my best pals is a grave digger. Like, do you know what I mean? That's a fucking hard job. This is a piece of piss. Like, this is great. But it's the kind of the pressure you put on yourself, the fame and stuff like that. That's like and I fucking hate being like, oh, fame, man, it's really tough. But, because again, it's fucking class and loads of respect. But yeah, so I think it's for me, it was I never thought we would get to this point. Like even when I got signed, I didn't think it was going to last. And I've always been told like, getting signed means nothing really. Because it does kind of, I mean, it's a nice little tick, but it doesn't mean anything. More people get dropped than fucking become success stories. So it's always been like stuff that I've always just been glass half empty and been like, this probably isn't going to work out, but I'm going to fucking try and really give it a go, but it probably won't work out. So I don't like to get too fucking aspirational. And I wouldn't say I'm necessarily an ambitious person. I do think there's people around me who are ambitious and who we have the same like lofty dreams, and they maybe see something in me that, again, this is something that I cannot be more thankful for like labels and agents and PRs and my manager and my family and friends and stuff. They've obviously saw something and thought for some reason that we could get to a point. But personally, I just feel like I'm just happy to play music and specifically play live. So if this just can continue to that, I can do that. I kind of like big crowds now, so it'd be nice if they could stay big for at least 2 years or whatever. But if I can play live music, yeah, I'll show up and play Someone You Loved It any old shite for the next 20 years.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favour. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.